Okay, so we're going to discuss how to create column in Revit. So before we start with our drawing, let us first set up our units. So to set up your units, type UN, or you can go to the Manage tab, then click Project Units. Then this window will pop up. So the discipline should be in common. Then the units should be in millimeters or depend on your preference. So once we're done, we'll click OK. So our columns can be seen here in our architecture tab. Then this is the icon for the columns. So also you can see our column command here on the structure tab. So here we have here the column. So the difference between the two, uh, if we select here sa column, it's only for structural column. But here in architecture, we can see here the small arrow. We can select if you want a structural column or architectural column. So for the shortcut command for the structural column, you can type CL as shown in this window. So to start off, let us know first the difference between the structural column and the column architectural. So structural column uses for the structural works, then it has already load bearings. So mga stress, compression strength. So nandito na sa structural column once na ginamit natin. Unlike kay architectural, mainly for the architectural works lang siya. So for aesthetic purposes. So for example, let us first create our wall. So WA. There. Then if we use the column, once we select this one, the default command is for the structural column, not for the architectural. So let us first select the structural column or type CL for the shortcut command. So we select it here. So this notification means na hindi mo lang siya makikita sa plan mo. So what you have to do is to go to your 3D. So to go to your 3D view, go to the quick access toolbar, then select this small house or for that icon. So this is our structural column. So once you browse here on your properties, you can see here meron na siyang structural na table. So nandito yung mga analysis, mga rebar, yan. So once na in-extend natin siya, so palitan natin yung base level and yung base offset. So yung base offset kasi natin, negative 2.5. Kaya nandito siya sa ilalim. So if we change this to 0, okay, sorry. So our top level should be on level 2, for example. Then our base offset can be, for example, negative 1,000. Sorry. So if we go to level 1, you can see here na hindi nag-combine si structural column dito sa ating wall. Unlike if the architectural column, so nag-combine siya. So kung ano yung properties ng wall natin, i-adapt nung architectural column natin. So saan ginagamit ngayon si architectural column? So this is used for example, you have a board up dun sa mismong structural column mo. So pwede mo siyang gamitin. So if I want to move this one inside the architectural column, pwede rin. So kumbaga, this is your main column, then this one, for example, your finish here is the gypsum board, for example. So kumbaga parang cover lang siya. Yun yung mangyayari. So ang pinakagagamitin natin when it comes to our drawing is yung structural column. So ganun siya. So if we select this one, then we edit the type. So makikita natin, pwede kang mamili ng materials. Here, in the materials and finishes. once dito naman kay structural column, once na nag-edit type tayo, wala siyang materials. Kasi automatically, ang ginamit na talaga nating column is yung concrete. So, let's cancel this one. So, and delete this example. So, here, on our drawing area, meron na tayong plano dito. So, what we're going to do is to put columns on our plan. So, again, to create columns, just click this icon, or you can type CL. Either you can click in the architecture tab or in the structural tab. So for now, we're going to click here on the architecture, then type CL to proceed with our command for the structural column. So to create a column, on our default, these are the system models that we have, or families. Kumbaga, steel column siya. So to load the families, we can go here on the load family, then select the columns that we're going to use. So if we go back, so you can see here columns, then you have here structural columns. So the difference is that these columns are for these columns are for the architectural works. So if nasa structural ang component ay yung families natin, sa structural columns tayo kukuha. So dito tayo magsaselect. Then we have here different folders which are different types of columns then. So we have concrete, light gauge, precast, steel, and wood. So for now, we're going to use the concrete. Then select the square column. So I already load the concrete square column. So meron na tayo dito sa ating properties. So cancel na natin to. So for example, we're going to create a column. So once we click this type selector, meron tayong iba't ibang sizes na column. So for now, we're going to use the 300 by 300 mm concrete column. So select this one, then edit type. So always duplicate your elements. So we will going to rename this as column 1, for example. Then 300 by 300 mm. Then click OK. So if you want to see your column, you can just click here, the preview. Yan. Then if you want to change dimension, here you can change this one. So B means yung base niya. So ayan yung mababago. So click OK. So we can place now our column. So this notification or warning, it means lang na hindi nakikita yung column natin kasi nandun siya sa pinakailalim. So to go to our column, you have to click the 3D. So there, this is our column. So here on our properties, the base level is at level 1. And the top level is also at level 1. So we're going to change this to level 2 or level 3. Yan. So our column will be at this level. So our base offset is at -2.5. So for example, the depth of our excavation is 1 meter only, since this is just a 2-story house. So let's just type -1,000. There. So we already have our column. So go back to our level 1. So for the placement of column, it should be here on our structural wall. So to do that, type AL, then click this line. So if that can't be selected, we can use the move command. So type MV, then select first the column, press spacebar, then select base point, then place it here. So there. So we can use our arrow keys to move our elements. just have to copy this one. So to copy, go to modify or type CO and select the object. Press the space bar, then select your base point. So copy this one as well. So we can align this one. So AL. There. So if you want to select the core, you just have to press tab until you select it. There. So if we go back to our 3D, so this is our column. So we have to change the height for this. So we'll have to go to level 2, the top level. There. So to copy, you can just click here, the multiple. So just align this one. Or remove. There. So that's how you will put your columns onto your plan. So there are other ways to put columns on your plan. So to do that, so you have to click this icon first or type CL. Then you can see here on the modify, add grids at columns. So if you already have grids on your plan, for example, so let's create first our grid. So you can find your grid at architecture tab. Then here at datum, you can see here the icon grid, or you can type GR. So let's create first our grid. So for example, this one. So your first click is it's the tail of your grid line. Then the last click it's where the grid or leader will be placed. So for example, that's our first grid. This is our second grid and third grid. So we can change this one. So first click this one, then click D, text, then for example type A. So it automatically naman na mag-a-adjust siya. So type natin GR for another grid. So magiging letter B na siya. Yan. So automatic na siya. Then you don't have to create grids when you're already on the second floor. So okay na yan kahit isang grid lang siya. So to create columns, so select this one, then click natin tong at grids. So isa-select mo lang yung grid na paglalagyan mo. So ganyan siya. So magkakaroon ka na ng columns. So for example, okay ka na dyan. Now, ito naman at columns, if you have an architectural columns, so automatic malalagay siya dun sa loob. So for example, click natin si column architectural. For example, meron tayong column dito. So to rotate your column, press nyo lang yung spacebar. So yan. Tapos gusto natin may structural column dito sa gitna. So, click natin si column or type CL. Then, click natin itong add columns. Then, click natin ito. So, yan. Automatic. Sorry. Add columns. So, automatic, magkakaroon ka na ng column. So, once na chinek natin sa 3D, let's do it again. Then, click natin na finish. So, ayan na siya. So, meron ka ng automatic column sa gitna nung structural natin. So, again, 3D. Dito siya sa loob. So, if you want to see it, place lang natin siya to top, base offset, for example, negative 1,000. So, ayan na siya. Meron ka ng column. So, pag magagawa ka rin ng column, i-join din natin yung column natin dun sa wall. Kasi pag nag-compute si Revit, madadoble yung computation niya. Kasi kinompute niya pa yung concrete na gagamitin dito sa wall, dito sa first part, tsaka dito sa kabila. So, i-join natin siya para hindi na madoble yung computation ni Revit. So, para mag-join, punta tayo sa Modify, then click lang natin tong join. So, ito yung join natin. Yeah. So, ganyan siya. So, join lang natin. So, that's the other way to put columns on your plan.